In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you things that I did to shift my extreme unhappiness for myself and in my life into something that was much more in alignment with myself and that allowed me to be more free and to ultimately create more happiness and joy in my life. I'm Iris Sirianni. I'm a self-love coach and a spiritual mentor. So, tip number 1 I have written down is I stopped comparing myself to others. I don't know how many of you can relate to this, but I was the poster child for comparing myself to others and wanting to emulate others because I had an idea in my head that if I acted like them, if I looked like them, if I did what they did, then I would have the same results that they would have. And that backfired on me because number 1, I wasn't them. I don't think that there's anything wrong with looking at somebody that has a life or a lifestyle or healthy habits or something that you desire to have in a way of emulating the lifestyle choices that they are making in order to have what they have. But in my case, what I was doing is I was trying to be them. And the problem with trying to be somebody else is that is not authentically who you are. You are unique and you are individual, and your interpretation of life experiences and the lens in which you see your life through is completely unique to you. Nobody sees life through the exact same lens that you see. Nobody expresses themselves in the unique way that you do. So while we can emulate some of the choices and decisions people make, the whole self-expression, you will never ever be able to copy that. It has to come from your innateness, your uniqueness of the expression of who you are. And so what I continually did is I tried to voice and be that person rather than taking what they were doing and making it my own. It kind of reminds me of America's Got Talent or The Voice, where you have the vocal coaches there and they will take a piece of music and they will say to the new artists, make this piece your own. You can't do it exactly like that person because you're not like that person, but you can extrapolate components of it to make it your own. One thing that has made the biggest difference for me in my life was take pieces of things that I liked about how other people were living their life and their lifestyles and so on. And I emulated that, but I made it my own, like that piece of music. Now, the comparison thing can also work in the other way, as in looking at somebody else and being envious or jealous of that person and believing that you can't be, do, or have what that other person is being, doing, or having. And what that does is it causes us to feel bad about ourselves. It causes us to disconnect from our uniqueness. It causes us to have bad thoughts about ourselves, self-limiting and self-defeating thoughts. We go into that comparison mode and then we think that we are not good enough and that we're not worthy. And that's simply not true. It is the more you can stand in your uniqueness and embrace all of the things that make you you, the more aligned you will become with the very things that you want to have. So I was saying, stay in your own lane and embrace your own uniqueness. All right, that's point number one. Point number two I've written down is I started to read books and listen to books on audio and follow YouTube channels that were talking about the things that I wanted to improve about myself and the life and the lifestyle that I wanted to create for myself. And if you're watching this video, if you're liking the content so far, please like it and comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. So back to reading and listening to things that are going to educate you on moving forward in your goals and dreams and aspirations. We don't know what we don't know, and so other people who have done what we want to do or have accomplished what we want to accomplish, they are very good teachers. And while not everything in the content that you read and listen to is going to resonate with you, and we know that when something resonates with us because we feel in our body and we go, yeah, I get that. That is truth that's coming out there. And so you might not agree with everything that you read and you listen to, and that's okay. You don't have to. But take the steps to read about what you want to learn and take courses and invest in yourself. Invest in your growth and invest in learning about the things about yourself that might need to change in order for you to be, do, or have the things that you want to have. So that's what I started doing. So point number three is I let go of people who didn't understand what I wanted to create for myself and didn't necessarily support it. So there's a difference between people not understanding what it is you want to do and those that don't support your growth and want to hold you back. And not everybody needs to fully understand what it is that you want to create, but we do need to have people in our lives that at least support who we want to become, even though they don't understand it. And then conversely, there are people that really don't want us to change and grow. And those people, if we listen to the things that they're saying to us, they will hold us back because our growth and our change is going to cause disruption in their own life. They're used to you being a certain way. And so when you are no longer that certain way, that is going to disrupt things for them. They're going to lose the person that you used to be, and it's going to make them uncomfortable. But you holding yourself back because it makes somebody else comfortable, it's not going to hurt them, it's going to hurt you, because if you are ready to make that change in your life, that just means that you are ready to move on. So who you surround yourself with is really, really important. And something that happens during this transition in this growth phase is that you do end up leaving people behind so that you can move forward in your life. And so sometimes it can feel very isolating and like you're alone in your journey. As you continue to move forward, new people, they're going to show up in your life. And so you're not going to be alone forever, or you're not going to have that feeling of being alone. For me, I actually didn't mind being alone because I was going through a huge inner transformation. I was waking up, spiritually waking up, and I really wanted to spend more time by myself. It's where I did the most healing. It's okay that we heal by ourselves. There will always be people that enter into our lives that are going to help us move forward. So that's point number 3. Point number 4, I stopped over-explaining myself and my ideas to anybody who would listen. This kind of goes back to the people who can't support our growth and don't believe in us. We have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe that whatever it is that we want to do, that we are capable of doing it. And we are all capable of creating whatever we want for ourselves. But that over-explaining, it's almost like we want buy-in, looking for external validation of who we are. And that was exactly me. I wanted somebody to say to me, that's a really great idea. You go and you go for it and you do it. And I know you can do it. It's almost like I was looking for a cheerleader to be on my side. But really, what needed to happen is I needed to be my own cheerleader. And that's what happens. We become our biggest cheerleader because we believe in ourselves and we believe in the things that we want to have in our life and who we want to be. But over-explaining and gather up the troops, so to speak, to say, yeah, go for it. You can do it. I believe in you. That is external validation, but it doesn't line up if you yourself don't believe it to be true. And that's something that I had to learn for myself, is that I had to believe in myself. I had to value myself. I had to have confidence in the things that I wanted to create for myself and still continue to want to create for myself. But over-explaining myself, or even explaining anything about what I was doing to anybody else, I cut that off unless somebody specifically said, so what are you up to, right? And then I would be discerning about the information that I would share, because other people might be triggered themselves by what you're trying to explain to them, and they may pass a judgment and maybe say something like, oh, that's a really ambitious goal. I actually got that once from somebody. Oh, that's really ambitious. And I also remember how that felt and how defeated I felt. And then I start to question, oh, can I really do this? Maybe it is too big of a dream. So I stopped over-explaining and even explaining what I was doing. And I only share what I'm doing with a very close circle of people that I know support my growth. And some of them don't completely understand what it is, but they support it anyways. And I love them dearly for that. But first and foremost, I believe in myself, and that's where it starts. So that was point number 4. And point number 5 is I started really paying attention to my thoughts that I had been thinking that have been sabotaging me for so many years. We all have a thought process that supports beliefs that we have. And every time we want to stretch ourselves, step out of our comfort zone, because sometimes we get the courage to step outside of our comfort zone, and it's an amazing thing. But there's that thought pattern that we think based on our beliefs that says, oh, this is too hard, or you tried that and it didn't work before, like you don't want to do that again. Maybe we'll just not do that thing. Whatever the thought patterns are, that is one thing that I had to start looking at within myself and recognizing when I was triggered by something and noticing what thoughts I started to think. And then sometimes what I would do is I would just skip over those thoughts and reinforce a new positive thought, which was more in alignment with where I was going and who I am becoming. And other times it was looking at, why does that trigger me so much? What just happened that caused me to go into this emotional state that triggered all of these defeating negative thoughts that I was thinking, that had me backpedaling back into a version of myself that I didn't want to be anymore. The more I gave myself permission to notice when something triggered me and to stop and go, okay, what just happened there? Because all of a sudden I don't feel good about what I'm doing. And I'm having all of these feelings and I'm getting very emotional, and I would get all choked up. When that started to happen, it was like, okay, what just happened here? And what new thoughts am I going to think? And am I going to choose to believe in the old story of who I am and what I am capable of creating and manifesting in my life? So those are the 5 things that I stopped doing or started doing that got me out of that place of looking at the ceiling, wondering if there was more to life than this, and telling myself that I hate my life. Those are 5 things that have really, really helped me tremendously, and I hope that they help you too. If you like this video, please like and comment and share and subscribe, and till I see you in the next video, take good care.